Hello and welcome to Building Our City. I'm Thomas Gandy. I'm across Irving Boulevard from the Central Library and Centennial Fountains at the site of what will be the South Irving Library. On this edition of the show, we're going to be telling you a lot more about that project. Let's begin by watching the groundbreaking ceremony as it happened.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Chris Dobson. I'm the director of the Irving Public Libraries. I am just thrilled to see so many of you here on this cold morning. We are so excited. I want you to know if my voice shakes, it's because I'm excited. It has nothing to do with the temperature. I feel like I just won the Oscar for Best Picture, and as a result, I have a few people to thank. I'm going to start by thanking Doug Wilson and his crew from the Parks Department for doing what they always do for events like this, which is to set up everything just perfectly and make it look absolutely effortless. We have with us today the Student Council from John Haley Elementary with their teachers Rita Canavan, Laura Wells, and Assistant Principal Chris Bourne. Thank you very much for coming down. They're going to sing a special song for us in a little while. Also with us are students from St. Luke Catholic School. Thank you to Malani Heaton and Kathy Caruth, their principal, for bringing them down. I'm sure that we're going to see a lot more of these kids in the next year when we open the library, and the year after, and years after that. One of the important features of the South Irving Library is that it's going to serve children, teens, and adults equally well, and we're really proud of that. Of course, we wouldn't be here today if it weren't for the talent and inspiration of our architects, Bill Heidel and Tony Blas. I think over the past 2 years, there have been a number of moments where they were convinced that no one would be able to design a building that would satisfy us. Yeah, they're laughing now. This is just going to be a wonderful building. It's not only going to be a great architectural bookend for the Heritage District, but it's going to work really well as a library for the public and for the staff. I also owe a huge thanks to Casey Tate and Terry Reed from our Capital Improvements Program. They have been enormously patient in explaining the process that is required to get a project to this point, the realities of code compliance, and the limitations of building materials. I also want to thank our library board for providing feedback as the design went through several iterations. They truly are the voice of the customer. And finally, I want to thank our city manager, Tommy Gonzalez, our mayor, Beth Van Duyne, our city council for sharing our vision of 4 standalone, full-service, modern libraries to serve all the residents of Irving. This will be our 3rd library in 7 years. This is just an amazing commitment to literacy and education. And I think it's one that the entire city is proud of. We're 3/4 of the way to realizing our vision. And again, I want to thank the council and the mayor and the city manager. This has just been a wonderful journey. And now we have the St. Luke Catholic School with a groundbreaking poem by Richard M. Cochran.
A groundbreaking by Richard M. Cochran. On sand and rock and earth and clay. Our minds are fixed but open-eyed. We dream beyond this simple day. With lofty thoughts that drift away, we think of greatness and of pride. On sand and rock and earth and clay. Words are timeless and things that stay. We feel the urge, the step, the stride. We dream beyond the simple day. Telling all our words relay a sense of power, true and tried. Rock and earth and clay. You will rise and come what may. The old is over and none can hide. We dream beyond this simple day. Today we triumph in every way. From stone to stone our path is wide. On sand and rock and earth and clay. We dream beyond this simple day.
Thank you very much. And now I'd like to introduce Representative Linda Harper-Brown.
Thank you so much, and thank you, students. That was wonderful. Let's give them another round of applause. I know it's cold this morning, and they did a great job. How beautiful. Well, it's a great pleasure to be here today to celebrate this exciting new beginning. And I know that it has taken several years and much patience, as was mentioned earlier, to design this building and to make it happen. And I want to thank the library board, especially the city council, mayor, and especially Rose Cannaday, because I know that Rose developed this library plan several years ago. I know how hard you worked and how dedicated and how passionate you are about libraries and learning. So, but also it takes the dedicated citizens of Irving to be able to accomplish something as important and as wonderful as this facility is going to be. We are so lucky to be in the city of Irving. We are such a remarkable community, and we have so many dedicated people that really care about every aspect of our lives and about the opportunity to provide us with facilities that will further educate and bring innovation and creativity to the citizens. This is just the beginning, and I'm anxiously awaiting the day that we will actually cut the ribbon at the opening of the new library. So to everyone that has been a part of this, I want to say thank you and congratulations, and keep up the good work so that we can continue to have great days it seems like every day here in Irving. But from the great state of Texas, I bring this resolution. Whereas the residents of Irving are celebrating the groundbreaking for the new South Irving Public Library on February 15th, 2013. It will feature state-of-the-art computer technology, an energy-efficient design, individual study rooms, a quiet reading room, an expanded children's area. And whereas throughout the design process, community members were encouraged to contribute to the library's plans online and to participate in public input meetings, the facility's final design was developed based on feedback from Irving's library board, the city council, and area residents. And whereas the opening of the new library demonstrates the good that can be accomplished through the combined endeavors of engaged citizens and dedicated public servants, and it sets the stage for further positive developments in South Irving. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the groundbreaking ceremony for the South Irving Public Library be commemorated, and all those involved in bringing this project to fruition be extended sincere best wishes for success. Congratulations, and thank you to each and every one of you for making this possible.
Thank you very much. And now we have a few words from our mayor, Beth Van Duyne.
Ooh, it's a little chilly this morning. I'm sorry if I got you guys in trouble by getting you all excited, but, you know, jumping around is, I think, the best thing that you can do at a groundbreaking, especially when it's this cold. Patty Landers, it's so good to see you in attendance. I know that you especially were so excited when we made plans for this library. Rose Cannaday, I want to thank you. When I got elected, Rose came to me and we talked about different appointments on various boards, and she said, I don't care what you put me on, but do not take me off the library board, because I am so excited about the South Library and I want to make sure that I see it to fruition. All of the board members who have fought for this, thank you so much for your years, literally years of dedication to make sure this happened. We are doing what the city has promised to do. We are staying committed by making this a LEED certified building. We're keeping our commitment to, obviously, to the environment. We involved all of our residents, both old and young alike. We had a teen center, and we involved a number of our teens, and we said, what do you want in your library? We see you at Valley Ranch, and we see what building a new library and how awesome that has been an experience for that group, and we see how many people come out. What do you want down here? We see our West Library and how excited people are to be there, both young and old alike, how people are using the computers over and over again. In fact, we don't have enough computers is what we keep being told, but they're using them to get jobs. They're using them to do homework. They're using them to study. What do you want in the South Irving Library? This is going to be the largest library that we have in the city. This is going to be our crown jewel. We are investing in South Irving and are hoping we are putting our money where our mouth is. The citizens have backed this when we had a bond election, so they're all excited about it. And what the teens have said is, well, we want a big room. We want a room that we're not bothering everybody else. You don't get the dirty looks. So we're actually going to do that. We're going to have a teen center on the first floor. Do we have plans for a coffee shop? Yes? No? Maybe? We need to get plans. The Starbucks is right here. We need to get plans for a coffee shop down there. We're going to use the beautiful environment that we have with our Millennium Fountains, with our Centennial Park, with the lake right here. Really build something that we can be proud of. Something that's special in this community, something that's special in this area to really jumpstart the development down here. We've been talking about this for years, and I am so excited to be here on a chilly day, but with so much excitement and energy in the air. And I want to thank all of you for your hard work, your dedication, staff for continuing to bring this to City Council and pushing it forward, for board members for calling us and making sure that we got it, and for citizens for supporting the cost involved in building it. I can't wait to open it up. Thank you all very much.
Tommy?
I want to thank Mayor Watson. Where is Mayor Watson at? There you are. For these gloves. Thank you. I couldn't refuse them. He asked me to put them on, and I told him, okay, I'll do that. But I want to ask Patty to come up here. Come up here, Patty. She was in an office whenever this idea was talked about, and she cried. You remember that, Patty? She cried, but it was with tears of joy. And I want to recognize her and Chris, because you have the previous library director and the current library director, and the two of them together helped usher this into what you're seeing as a 4-library system. I want to also thank the mayor and the council, the board, and obviously the kids and the community who we're building this for. When other cities, other communities are closing down facilities, we're opening up new facilities. I hope you can see that. And it's not from what's coming out of my mouth, it's what you see being constructed. And that's our focus, to make sure that we're not closing down libraries, that we're opening up new ones, that we're not reducing the number of hours, but we're keeping the hours where they are, and that we're committed to the materials and all those types of things that need to be replaced in the library every year. We're not just saying it, we're doing it. I think this is a great partnership also with the schools. It demonstrates our commitment to education, and that we provide a sanctuary for the children after school for them to learn and read and have story time, have all the different things that we have. And everything's already been stated. We have things for children, for small children, for teenagers and adults. So we're looking very much forward to getting this constructed. We're implementing what the council and you as the community want, and we're going to continue to stay focused on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Tommy. Now for our last speaker is Rose Cannaday, who is the board liaison from the council. And Rose has just been such a wonderful booster for us for so many years, and we really appreciate seeing her every month.
Thank you, Chris. It is good to see everybody today, and I'm excited about the groundbreaking for this 3rd library. You've already heard the city manager and people say this is the 3rd of our 4-library system. And you know, it was a few years ago that Tommy and Patty we had talked, and Tommy says, you know, y'all have all got to go to Rancho Cucamonga. And I thought, there is such a place? And so we flew out and we looked at a state-of-the-art library out there and how they had connected it into a development. And we came back really excited because I realized I had never really been into a real library. I'd been into a lot of libraries, but not like they had in Rancho Cucamonga. So we came back and we thought we can do this better, and we have. Patty, it's been a joy with you and Chris and the leadership, and I've enjoyed serving on the library board for the last few years. I always call them my happy board because they never complain. They're just excited, and they got lots of ideas, and they're very dedicated to the library system and what it does for the city. You know, the city manager also mentioned that over the last few years that it's true. Other cities around us have cut their library hours. They stopped purchasing new materials. They just practically closed down in a sense when their community needed them the most. And in Irving, we continued to build new libraries, and that was always, people were just amazed that we could be building new libraries. And that's because, you know, the city manager kept finding ways, coming up with the money, making it possible for us all to fulfill this dream. And then everybody filled in and did their work. The city council and mayor, everybody was always supportive of it, as well as the board. And it was a team effort that got us here. But we all recognize, though, that libraries are the gateways to knowledge and culture, and it plays a fundamental role in society. The resources and services that our libraries offer create opportunities of learning, support, literacy, and education, and it helps shape new ideas and perspectives that are central to a creative and innovative society. For small children, the library becomes a magical place of learning and reading and just a place to have fun. Libraries provide all types of summer programs for young and old, and the library becomes a lifeline, particularly in these times that we've had with the recession, to guide those that are out of work. And Chris and all of her staff have been so good in training, retraining, helping these people put resumes together, and they just fulfill an incredible need that's needed in our society and working with the community. And then for some of us, like myself, that have a stress-filled life, the library offers a quiet place of rest and solitude where you can kind of stop and reflect and contemplate where you're going. We forget that libraries are depositories that ensure that the research of human knowledge and history is preserved. Libraries are synonymous with education, and they offer all of countless learning opportunities. A story that this is a true story of a young man in Malawi, which is a country in South Africa. He's out of a small village, and they had a tiny little library, and he went there one day and he checked out a book on windmills. And he read this book, and then from that he decided that he could build an energy-producing turbine for his village, and he did. And because of that, on the strength of that experience, he eventually got a scholarship to a U.S. university. But that book that he checked out and he read not only transformed the lives, his life, it transformed all the lives of the people in his village. So that potential awaits every young man and woman that enters through our library. You heard me say before that libraries, when we opened the West Library, what an important role they played in my life. I grew up in small town in Texas, and I used to walk, and then bicycle, and then drive to my library. And before I ever had the opportunity to travel in the world, I was already traveling by books. I had many hours of joy of reading great fiction books, and it helped me to dream, and it helped craft where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. And so that joy of my love of reading has transferred on to my children and now my grandchildren, and it's really a joy to see kids reading. And so this is just a great day. And in closing, I want to once again thank the city manager for his work in keeping the finances on track so that we can keep building these libraries. I want to thank the mayor, all my colleagues on council, and especially my happy board, the library board. And today is a very happy day. And I would be remiss if I don't mention Casey Tate again. He is just incredible. Yeah, he's back there in the back. He just does an outstanding job in everything he does. And his staff, there's a lot of them, and I don't mean to not mention all of you, but you know who I'm talking about. And I want to thank all of you because this is a team effort today. And I want to thank all of you. It shows your commitment to turn out in this cold weather to support this, how much you love your libraries in your community. So we're all looking forward to opening up this new library. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Rose. And now we have the John Haley Elementary School Student Council, and they're going to sing a song for us.
I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Gonna say hi to the dictionary, picking out a book, check it in, check it out. Hooray, fire truck! Curious gets a job. I'm going down to the library, picking out a book, check it in, check it out.
And now we're actually going to go over and wield the shovels.
So you just saw the groundbreaking. Now let's get some more specifics on the project from Capital Improvement Program Director Casey Tate. Thanks for being with us on a cold day. And
thanks for having me.
we have the shovels out here now, but when will the real construction begin?
There's one last thing they have to do, which is the stormwater prevention plan, and it's being finished right now. So one of the first things you'll see happen on the site is the drilling of the geothermal wells. There's about 140 geothermal wells. They'll drill about 250 feet deep. That will be used for the heating and the cooling in exchange for the building.
So what's the rest of the timeline after that?
Once we get going on that and they get the geothermal wells in, then they'll start working on the excavation. As you know, this building has a basement. It's going to store about 125,000 volumes down the basement for least checked out books. And so they'll start excavating for that and getting ready to put that foundation in, and drilling the piers will be the next thing.
Talk about some of the features that are the most exciting to you about this. A lot of the buildings now have environmentally friendly features.
That's correct. This one will be LEED certified. We know it will be silver. It might be gold once we're done. It will have geothermal heating and cooling, so it's about 20% more efficient than using traditional HVAC. It will use a lot of recycled materials, and one of the nice features is that in lieu of putting a lot of window blinds and shades up on the west and the south side of the building, we're going to have a glass that once it's exposed to the sunlight and heats up, will darken, and it will tint dark and block the light so that you won't have to put those blinds and shades inside, and won't have to worry about the maintenance on those and the cleaning. So this will be a pretty progressive building and some of the environmental features in it.
With every project there are concerns, and one of the concerns I've heard about with this is parking. So talk about the parking.
Yeah, on the west side of this building, and then on the south side of the road here, we'll have parking that will be available. It'll be pretty close to the building. You'll just have to cross the road here, and we'll have it marked off and striped off with a crossing. We'll have, I believe, more than enough spaces. We have the exact number, if not more spaces than we have for the library today in the garage, and so we feel like we'll have adequate parking on site.
So looking at the central library now, what are the main benefits of this building over the central library?
This building will be much more efficient in the layout, and it'll have a lot more program space for the staff to have programs for the smaller kids, the teens, and adults. And so one of the nice features on the first floor is that we'll have a large multi-purpose meeting room that can be broken down into several different sizes. You could have 3 smaller meetings going on simultaneously, or you could have 1 large meeting, or a large and a small. So it'll be a very multi-purpose, multifunctional room that'll be used quite a bit. It has, on the side of it, has a craft room built for the kids to come in there and do their crafts. So it'll be a great building.
The central library, what are the plans for that building going forward?
There's a working group of some staff members of the city that are working on that, and some other buildings that are vacant right now, and we're looking at that. Probably within 30 to 45 days we'll be coming forward with some recommendations to council. Some of the things that has been talked about has been the Heritage Museum project that's coming forward. The archives will stay there. Right now where the administrative staff as well as the technical staff of the library will stay there and occupy one of the floors. Some of the other uses that we're looking at are community meeting spaces, maybe a visitor center for the paint house. There's just a variety of uses that we're looking at that could go into that building.
All right, Casey Tate, Capital Improvement Program Director, thank you for being here. And here's what some other people are saying about plans for the South Irving Library.
It's one of the most important things that's going on in our town. Our library system is better than any I've ever seen, you know. And then now to get this new building is just, well, I wouldn't miss it.
I'm really excited that we are going to have a new facility here in South Irving. And it's so nice, they'll be right down the street from the school. And I know a lot of my students go right now to the Central Library, so this is a great opportunity for them to be in on something they'll remember the rest of their life.
Well, it'll be very modern and up to date and have all the new technology that libraries need these days because, you know, as you know, people are moving away from books into other types of media, so this will provide access to those kinds of things. So it'll be a great addition to the city.
We're going to have a creative lab for teens mainly, but for anybody that wants to come in, it's going to have video, graphic, audio editing software in it, a Mac computer, a regular computer, and all kinds of tools for them to use for their creative juices. We're going to have a gaming console in the teen area so that they can game in the library.
It's just a renewal of the whole library system. We're just upgrading the entire system from the start, really. Replacing the current Central Library with the new South Library here is going to be an amazing facility.
And this construction at the South Irving Library site is not the only work underway in the library system. At the Valley Ranch Library, about 5,000 square feet of unfinished space is being developed. And then at the East Branch Library, there is another new addition. And Paige Stewart was there for the grand opening.
Libraries have traditionally been a quiet place, a place for students and community members to study, read, and think to themselves. But modern-day libraries aren't so quiet.
Community libraries such as ours are very, very busy after school. As you can see, all our computers are in use. We have lots of people in the building, so it gets noisy. And when people come in to study, they need a quiet space.
Because of the noise, East Branch Manager Rosemary Cortez, along with city library directors, decided to turn a former computer lab into a quiet room.
It's all exciting. We started a few months ago with an idea of changing what used to be a vault, this used to be a bank back in the 70s, and changing that vault room into a quiet study room.
Neighborhood patrons of the library were invited to the unveiling to see how the old vault is being repurposed. But to turn this idea into a reality, East Irving Library had to have some help from good friends and an unselfish family. Mickey Watson, who was an active member of the Friends of Irving Public Library, passed away last year. His widow, Margaret, chose not to just grieve her loss, but use financial gifts to benefit his passion, libraries. She went straight to the president of Friends of Irving Public Library for help.
The donations that were given in memory of Mickey, she asked that they be given to the Friends of the Irving Public Library. And then it filtered through us, and then the decision was made to have the quiet room.
Everybody comes in and we tell them what we're doing. It's like, we've always needed that.
This is a great addition, a great repurposing of our building, and it's all being done with donated money and donated paint, donated items. So we're very, very fortunate.
And with the quiet room now open, library patrons have a peaceful retreat from the crowds. Paige Stewart for City Source.
And we're going to keep watching the progress at this site as well as other construction sites throughout the city and keep you updated right here on ICTN. Thank you for watching Building Our City.